I mean, the answer is that if you don't respond to that in those situations, your symptoms will come back in those situations. Right. So that's the thing, right? Even if you're able to do it when you're at home, when there's no stressors, which for some people in the beginning, which I think even for you in the beginning, that was just the biggest thing. Can you do this without? Now you're going back and now you're getting some resistance in real world. And you'll actually even notice your symptoms will pop up now in those isolated situations. Right. And so the biggest thing, man, is like the stuff we're showing you, this doesn't happen in a vacuum of just like, okay, these are when your symptoms pop up. And in a weird way, anxiety in itself, I always say my biggest guide to my recovery was the anxiety. So when anxiety would pop up in these situations, it forced me to, okay, how am I responding to this? And it kind of became like my light there. But I never looked at it as, okay, this is a silo thing. When symptoms are there, I'll respond, but I'll stress the hell out of myself in life. I'll fall back in. That's what will happen. Anybody will fall back in. You'll stress yourself out and then you'll fall back in. And that happens a lot. That's why some people can't even hit certain levels in their life. Like they have potential, they can't do it because anytime they get to a certain level, they stress them. They can't handle the stress. They don't know how to stress manage. And I personally feel that if you're able to do it with the symptoms, Kaylee, correct me if I'm wrong here, responding to like work and life stressors easier to me. Like it should be really straightforward. It should be really simple. Okay. Am I reacting productively to this or am I letting this affect me? Right. Because it's like you were doing that with the symptoms. Symptoms are there. Oh, I hate this. Right. And then you're reacting to the symptoms. You learned, okay, even if the symptoms are there, how do I respond? Life stressors are going to be there. Are you going to let the life stressor throw you off? Or you're going to say, okay, life stressors are here. How do I respond? The locus of control is still always within you. And that'll always be the case. I'll tell you right now, 10 years out, I have a lot of work stressors. I could throw myself back in the cycle too. Like I wouldn't need very long. How you frame it, how you react to it also determines how you experience it.
Right.
Right. So it's not, people think it's the stressor situation. It's not the stressful situation. It's how people interpret it. You can go on people go on roller coasters, get the same fight or flight response you guys do, but enjoy it in a certain way. It's a frame for them. Oh, well, there's nothing harmful. This is safe. It's just, I want to experience the thrill.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But people that are struggling with anxiety, they're always resisting it. It's like you're resisting the stress. And it's the same thing here. The stress will be there no matter what. It's how you react to it and how you frame it, how you look at it. That's going to determine the experience of it. That's the biggest thing. Yeah. And see, do you see how there's levels to this game? Like now you're going into stressful situations. Now you're like, okay, now how do I handle with stressful situations? How do I? And so you'll see like this journey is deeper than people think. People just think it's the symptom. And then you start saying, oh no, I had all these other like habits and stuff like that. But what's interesting is I think everybody, like people that didn't fall into this cycle also have these habits. It was like, okay, the question is, look, everyone's going to have to realize this. What you're realizing, everybody on this planet is going to have to realize it. It's just how much pain do you have to get to this point. Yeah. You guys have gone through a lot and very intense amount. So it forced you guys to do it. Some people will have enough pain, but not too much to force them or where they fall in the cycle. Although I'm feeling like as time goes on, more and more people are falling in the cycle, man. But you just realize it. And once you realize that, then you're like, okay, I always say, and this was going to have a deeper meaning for you, which is when you realize it's your response is your responsibility. That's where freedom lies. This is going to be a skill set that you're going to have in your back pocket that you're going to go even beyond anxiety. When you decide to get a promotion or you decide to start your own company or whatever you decide where it's going to scare people, mostly it would scare people, stressors won't be thrown at you and you'll just learn how to react.
No, I was going to say exactly. Like I love the realization, right? That I'm not compartmentalizing anymore. Sorry, I can't talk today. Right. Like now it's like, okay, like I've mastered how to, or I know how to respond to my symptoms. Now, how do I respond to it outside of just like anxiety symptoms, right? Into everyday life. Yeah. And I mentioned that's the natural progression that we see, right? And this is why we always say like anxiety recovery changes your life in a good way because you start working on those other things, right? Those life things, and you become such a stronger person because like you're seeing, a lot of people when they have life stress, it knocks them down. But now, because you are sensitized and experiencing life stress, right, you're noticing how much it knocks you down, right? And actually how much control you have in not letting it knock you down. I actually argue, Shaan, that it's a bit harder, I think, to notice life ones. And why I say that is because people don't recognize what they're doing, right? The anxiety symptoms are so in your face. It's like, yeah, I'm feeling this X symptom, right? What do I do? Whereas like life stressors, I think we've gone our whole life just always worrying in our head. And we don't recognize how that plays a role. And honestly, I would argue that most people who are here right now have those bad habits and behaviors from prior to falling in. And that has played a role in them falling in. Right?
Yeah.
Because
actually. Yeah.
Right. And it's hard. Yeah, but another level in your journey.
I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope this helps you on your recovery journey. Now, I often get asked after watching these videos, okay, Shaan, what's next? So I wanted to link down below some resources that I think could really jumpstart your recovery journey. One of the newest things we have is a desensitization blueprint. This really breaks down how to overcome your symptoms once and for all. We also have a lot of recovery stories. These are people that were just like you, who were experiencing the exact same symptoms, who overcame it and are now back to living. In fact, a few of these members are even mentors in my mentorship. Beyond that, I would highly recommend joining the Facebook group. I'm doing weekly Q&As, answering a lot of questions, very engaged in that group. And I also have a free book, an ebook down below if you want to check that out too. So I hope this helps, and I'll see you in the next video.